Just getting ready for conference, everyone, for the dancing. Ready for conference, everyone, for the dancing. Bit of chaos. Marina, you've got the most beautiful smile there. It's just beautiful.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Creating a Bright Future Zoom tonight. We are so excited to be here with you. My name's Adam, and I'm an Executive Sales Director with Nutrimetics.
And I'm Louise Buchner, and I'm a Presidential Director with Nutrimetics. And we are thrilled that you're joining us tonight. This is so wonderful. And I am so excited that I have my beautiful friend, Julie Diamond, on tonight. Julie is, I mean, you just have to look at her. Julie, you are so beautiful. The hair, the makeup, the clothes, the look, the beautiful enthusiasm.
I've got jeans on.
I can't see the jeans, darling. I can just see from here up. I've got my thongs on. It's hot here on the sunshine.
Zoom is higher.
So we're going to have some fun tonight and learn from the gorgeous Julie Diamond. Just to let you know a little bit about Julie, and I wrote all these lovely notes as we were chatting. Do you think I can find them? But I can remember most of them. So Julie actually joined 30 years ago, 35, 30 years ago.
30
years
My
ago.
anniversary on the 5th of March it was.
All right, just over a month ago. So Julie has been with Nutra for 30 years. And some of the highlights I asked Julie about were her cars and her trips. So she loves both equally, I've decided. They are both totally part of the lifestyle and the choice of Nutrimetics being her career. So some of the cars that she loved her Audi Cabriolet. She also loved her Golf, her Volkswagen Golf. And she mostly loved the little flower that came with the Golf.
I'm so cute.
She's loved every single car that she has achieved through Nutrimetics, and just loves the recognition that goes with that. And I think that probably we're a little bit the same, Julie, that as we've driven those cars or being presented with them, they're like our trophy on wheels.
It's validation of you.
We are doing a good job.
First validation. Yeah. Every time you walk up to it in the car park, you know, it's like every nut and bolt that belongs to me.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the highlights was receiving her Holden Verena, which was one of the little cars, but it was all wrapped up, and there were 11 cars all presented at the same time.
Presented by Bill and Imelda.
Oh, Bill and Imelda Roach. Oh my goodness. So the little Holden Verena was even more special.
Yeah.
So it's part of the memories and part of the fun that you have when you receive that beautiful trophy on wheels. And some of the trips. Now, Julie has traveled the world with Nutrimetics, and she has traveled a lot with her gorgeous husband, Mark, as well. But I don't know that there's always someone to meet them at the airport and take them to their 5-star hotel and have the red carpet out and the drinks and the big rah-rah and the assembly of our national sales director and our CEO, and on the old days, Bill and Imelda Roach there welcoming every single person that arrived. And some of the highlights for Julie are Africa, And I think she just loves seeing all the big five and the amazing animals there. Canada was a real highlight for Julie as well. And we stayed at the Fairmont Hotel at Whistler. Oh my goodness. And I'll never forget how they took us up in this gondola to the top of the mountain to have one of our, for our fancy dress.
Yeah.
And so Canada was a real highlight. Croatia, which was our last seminar, the conference that we were allowed to go to and travel overseas, it was definitely a highlight for Julie. And Japan was a real highlight for Julie. And what an amazing experience it was to go with a whole hundreds of Nutrimetics people to Japan and to discover that beautiful, amazing, clean, wonderful country. It was just so, so special. And I know that every trip has been so special to you, Julie. You've got a heart as big as your whole body, and you're just so beautiful. And one of the loves, well, Julie's got a few loves. She's got a husband, Mark, who is loved. She has got her beautiful daughter, Zoe. But I think equal to those are her beautiful cat and her dog.
They are. They're here with me. They have to be. Every live, every Zoom I do, they're here.
Yeah.
Usually appearing somehow.
Yeah. You have your babies, Julie, and I just love it. I also asked Julie to share with you today, why Nutrimetics? Why choose this? And her two words were radical, help me, Julie. Flexibility, radical flexibility. So I hand you over to our radical flexibility sales director, Julie Diamond. And Julie, over to you, my gorgeous friend. And one of the reasons I wanted to ask you on this to be a presenter is, for me, you represent no excuses. No excuses over the last 12 months, no excuses over the last 2 years. So I'd love, as well as your learnings and your lifestyle, to share a little bit of the challenges and the no excuses attitude that you've had to go from like right up here to up an even higher level again.
The resilience.
Resilience.
That's me.
Yeah. Bounce back, Julie.
Thank you. Thank you, Louise. Thank you, Adam. Very honored to be invited on here. Radical flexibility. I used to have radical flexibility years ago when I was very fit. I've lost that now. But I think that that is a really important aspect of our business, because most part-time jobs or anything you do, you are answerable to someone else, and you have to be there at a certain time and for a certain day, week, month, whatever it is. With us, when you're your own boss, you can have radical flexibility. So, you know, if there's an illness in the family, if there's an emergency in the family, you can take that time off. And that's what I think I've loved about it all these years. It's why I started. I think I'll put on some glasses so I can see myself better. Yes, that's it. When I first started Nutrimetics 30 years ago, I didn't need these at all. So I could, you know, do makeup really easily, my own and others. And now I can't. I need my glasses. So sorry, Louise, I forgot to ask you today, how long did you want me to speak?
1 hour, darling.
Oh my gosh, okay. Whoa, okay. Hope I don't get you bored then. Okay, so the reason I started Nutrimetics 30 years ago was really simple. I had really bad skin, and I had adult acne and rosacea. I'd had that for about 13 or 15 years, something like that. And Zoe was just a baby. She was only just 12 months old. And I joined a lovely mothers group, as you do when you're a new mum, and met this really lovely girl that was very sort of alternative, very natural. She didn't like to use, like, she only gave her child wooden toys and all that sort of thing, which is great. You know, that's her choice. But anyway, she was a very natural girl. So one day we're walking along with the prams, and she turned, and my skin was particularly unhappy that day. And she turned to me and she said, "Julie, what are you going to do about your skin?" And I was like, "Oh, thanks, Lorraine. Well, I don't know. You know, I have been struggling with it for many years. What would you suggest?" And she said, "Well, can I just say, I really think that your skin would look so much better if you could get away from all the chemicals and gunk she actually used a different word, but anyway, that you're using." And I was like, all right, yeah. And in my head, I'm going, you know, warning bells, because I only bought my skincare and makeup from David Jones. And if they didn't sell it at David Jones, then it probably wasn't real. You know, this is 30 years ago. So I'm like thinking, And she said, "No, look, I really think you should try out this product. It's really natural. And I think it might do your skin some good." So she knew a girl who knew a girl who knew a girl. I knew the name Nutrimetics when she said it. I just associated that with apricot and like the color apricot, and also, you know, parties. So I immediately said to her, "Don't ask me to have a party because I'm not doing it." And Lorraine was like, well, she was, because Lorraine wasn't selling it herself. Anyway, she was like, "Don't worry, Julie, you don't have to, but, you know, just get the girl over and she can, like, assess your skin." Anyway, luckily for me, I didn't muck around too much longer because I was kind of stressed about my skin. I was in my 30s, mid to late 30s, and I was pretty distressed about it. And so this beautiful girl came over, a girl called Debbie. She's not in the business either anymore. All my uplines have gone, but I'm still here. Anyway, so she gave me a facial. Now, 3 things happened when I had that facial. Number one, I really loved the way that it felt on my skin. My skin kind of went like, oh, thank goodness, finally something, you know, that's soothing. Number 2, I loved the smell of the product right away. And to this day, 30 years later, I still love the product, the smell of our products. Don't you? They're just so beautiful, so clean and fresh. And then the third big reason, and remember, I was a new mum, so I'd given up work to be a full-time mother because it had taken us a little while to have a baby. I had decided not to go to work. I wanted to stay at home and be a part of everything for Zoe. So I didn't have my disposable income. Now, Mark's a very generous man, but, you know, when you're sort of saying you wanted $95 for your moisturizing cream, which at Estee Lauder, that was the price that they were charging, he didn't kind of understand that. So when she told me the price of the Nutrimetics, I couldn't believe it. I actually sponsored myself, because while she was talking to me, she pulled out a book that we used to have, and Louise, the oldies will remember it. I forget what it's called, but anyway, it was you know, like our rewards program book now, but it was like cartoon characters. So there was a drawing of a plane going over a palm tree and a drawing of a cute little car. So I read how you could, you know, get a car, how you could go overseas. And in my head, I was like, yeah, sure, but that's probably not real. And then I turned the next page and it had a photo of jewelry. Now, I love sparkly things. I love jewelry. I probably sell my soul for jewelry. So when I read that page, I was like, that's for me. I want to do that. What is this? So I joined. It was $195, my kit. And that was a big outlay being a new mum, but I got a kit that had $1,500 worth of products in it. And I was so excited. Oh my gosh. Anyway, fast forward, I was lucky enough. I went to a training group with a lady called Sandy McDonald. Sandy was young and gorgeous and glamorous. She was like Adam. She was like one of the youngest PDs in the business at the time. And she was really, really dynamic. And I was part of her team. And so I went along to her classes and learned how I could turn this into a business that would allow me to be a full-time mum, what I really wanted to be. I didn't really believe I'd get a car on an overseas trip. I really didn't. But I did. And how did I do that? Well, one of the things that I learned at a very young age in the Nutrimetics world of business was that sponsoring is key. Sponsoring is life. And if you want a retirement fund, if you need time off from the business, if you want to go on holidays, then you need to make sure that you've got a team that's big enough to support that lifestyle. Sandy's philosophy was to sponsor 10 personally every month. Now, these are big figures, can you imagine? Like, we had to sell like a $195 kit. At one point, the kits were $350. You remember that? But we still sold them. We still sold them because we believed in them. Oh, I can see Marina. Hi, Dad. Everyone's little. I'm so sorry. I didn't see you there, darling. So fun. Oh, Mimi. Oh, my God, this is embarrassing. Hi, girls. How lovely to see you. Anyway, yeah, so what was I saying? I've lost the track now. Oh, yes, sponsoring. So, so sponsor 10 a month. And so she said that's because I told her I wanted to get a car and I wanted to go on the overseas trip. Mainly I wanted to get the jewelry, but anyway. And she said to me, sponsor 10 a month. If you sponsor 10 personally a month, every month for the next 6 months, and then come back and talk to me. So she knew that would set me on the right path and set me up. The key is consistency. The other thing was, obviously, I had to work out how to sponsor those 10 people a month. So, of course, it was party plan, being in front of people. So that's what I did. I was a party queen. I usually average, I have a nice lifestyle. I didn't want to be doing 10 parties a week, so I never did. But I always have between 12 and 16 parties in my diary. And you always know by having that number that you'll definitely hold 8 or definitely hold 5 really good ones and a few facials, and you'll be able to hit the targets that you need, which is your personal 10 sponsors and 4,000 plus in sales. That's what I do every month. Anyway, so that's sort of what set me up. Years go by, and cars, trips, overseas travel. But the main thing, I guess, has been development. So it's what you do with those people that you bring in that's really important. The company always has promotions on. And Louise and I have been for a few. We were the two that only got what was that one called? Develop the World. Do you remember that one, Louise? And we got $33,000 cash or something like that. I mean, some of the promotions I've forgotten. That's how bad it is, isn't it? But if someone can remember, it was only Louise and I were the only two who achieved it. You had to bring out 3 managers in this 12-month period.
Right.
Do you remember it?
No, totally forgot.
I vaguely remember that, yes.
Yeah. So it was only me and Louise. We did it. We were sitting in South Africa talking about it. Anyhow, so it's what you do with those sponsors that's really important, obviously. And so the key to everything, of course, is follow-up. And I think the people that I sponsored back in the days where I was going and doing party plans or facial party plan, facials with them, they're the people that have hung around because they didn't have to worry about maybe just, logging in and putting in an order. I was there with them and helped them log in or rung up because we used to ring up and put the order in for them, right? And then when computers came along, help them log in and do their orders. So nothing's changed today. It's the same process. You need to bring in the numbers. And over the last 2 years, we've had a bit of a challenge. So I'll go back to that in a minute, but nothing's changed today. You need to bring in the numbers, and then it's what you do with those numbers that will dictate your lifestyle with Nutrimetics and the money that you can earn. A lot of girls get scared about sponsoring because they think they're going to lose their customers. But what they don't understand is that it's actually a way of having more customers. Sandy taught me that, you know, she was very, very clever at running the business. She said, Julie, I could have 100 customers and run around and service 100 customers. But I'd rather have 100 consultants, and the company will service them and send them brochures and send them promotions. And I just have to do the other top up work. So it's a lot less work. But, you know, with those people that you bring in, obviously, if you're brand new and you're watching this, not everyone's going to do something with it. It's really normal for most people not to do anything with it. Some people drop out of your business and come back years later, months later, weeks later, decades later. It doesn't really matter. And what I do is, if they don't want to do anything with that account, then they just become a customer, and I keep them in my customer base, because you need your personal sales all the time. I had a little look back because I wanted to see what had happened. So of course, at the end of 2019 was the last trip overseas. I think I've achieved 35 trips overseas, because sometimes we get sales directors trips and other bonus trips that we've had. So I'd count them up. 35 trips over 30 years is pretty good, all paid for by the company, which is amazing. And I've achieved those trips because I've always kept that sponsoring ethic in my DNA. It's just what I do. I mean, I just honestly believe, why shouldn't everyone have their own account? Why not? You know, and so many times people don't realize that they can have their own account. They've been buying for someone for 10, 20 years. And then I meet them and I said, did you realize you can actually have your own account and order this online yourself? And they're like, oh my God. So I decided to have a little look back. Obviously, we've had a challenge the last couple of years, 2 years, and I thought I'll just look at the figures. So I just decided to look at my personal figures and my personal ESM sheet for you. So from January to December in 2019, I personally sold $60,216 actually for the year. So I think that's a good average of over 4,000 a month. I think it is. Somewhere I'm going to do the math. I can't do that math. That's why I'm a Nutrimetics girl.
5,000 a month.
What is it?
5,000.
Thanks, Adam. I knew someone would be able to do that. So that was 2019, and I sponsored 220. So this is before COVID, BC. And that year was a funny year because the year before my mum had died and Mark had had a heart attack. So I was sort of coming out, just sort of trying to get myself back. I just sort of like got things back, and I felt like, yeah, I'm back. So at the end of 2019, at the end of 2019, we went to Croatia, which was amazing. And at the beginning of that year, we went on our last conference. And I won a sponsoring award and a sales award. I have to say, in the 30 years I've been, 20, because I became a manager after 12 months, less than 12 months. It was about 8 months or something like that. I've forgotten. But anyway, I always win awards for something. Development, business development, new business development, elevations, personal sponsoring, group sponsoring, personal sales, and it's all because of sponsoring. That's why. Anyway, so 2019 I did that. In 2020, so COVID hits, and that first year was okay. I wasn't so stressed about things. I did at first. I remember listening to Adam, and he was talking about doing Facebook events, and I was sitting there getting all stressed out and becoming so worried about how I was going to do a Facebook event. Luckily for me, I already had my private group, my Facebook group that I've had since since 2010. I've had it for about a decade. So I've always run little promotions in there and did lives in there when that started. So I was okay on that score, but still really, I had no idea how to do an event. And I'm sure we all went through the whole event thing, drove us mad for the whole of 2020. Then we switched that to Zooms. But in 2020, my personal sales were, and where we couldn't go out and do parties and it was all online, my personal sales were 52,653 for the year. So not too bad. I only dropped down by 8,000 and sponsored 110. Now, there is a fantastic indication of the fact that we're not out in front of people face to face. So our sponsoring has really taken a hit for the last 2 years because we've eventually gone through all our rejoins and rejoins and rejoins that we've all been doing, that little treadmill. We need some new people. So thank God for the zero kit. And then in 2021, my personal sales were 52,821 and personal sponsoring of 153. Again, a little bit better than the previous year, but still not back to where, it usually sits normally for me about 300 personally, between 250 and 300 personally, I'm talking about for the year, that's my average. Anyway, so last year, Louise asked me to tell you what I did to get through COVID and things. So the first year of COVID was good. I mean, I felt quite strong coming out of it. I'd actually increased my business. We didn't have too many lockdowns in Sydney in that year. We were okay. We just had a few, but it was that lockdown felt like a holiday. I don't know about anyone else, but it was lovely. It actually was quite nice, and I just moved everything online. I made sure that I had lots of promotions on for my team in the group. I had lots of weekly prizes, daily prizes. Sometimes I do, depending on the promotions. The other thing is I made sure of was that I went for every promotion that the company set for us. Personally, I always make sure I do it. I'm embarrassed with myself if I don't. And that keeps me on the straight and narrow. Then in 2021, we all thought like, yay, we can, get back to normal. When was it? I haven't done a mind, body and spirit. Adam, when did we do the mind, body and spirit? That was in 2020. I did the mind, body and spirit. That's it. 2020. I don't know about you guys, but the years have blurred, haven't they? It's sort of weird. When we did the last event I did was in 2020, and it was in May.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why I forget. So on the 1st of May, I fell at home here, 1st of May last year, 2020, and at the front of our house, and I feel very badly, taken to hospital. I broke my back. And I broke my T3 and my T5, and also had a lumbar protrusion and damaged my shoulder. So I couldn't breathe, couldn't talk. I couldn't eat for a month properly. I could only have soup because everything was swollen on the inside, my thoracic area. And so that was the 1st of May at 12:30 on the 2020. I fell and broke my back. And I had booked in and paid for mind, body and spirit. So under a lot of drugs, I did that with my girls. We got that set up and we actually ran that event. And we sponsored 160 people, I think it was, in that month. And then COVID hit and we went into lockdown. So sadly, what happened, with probably almost 100% of those people we joined up at the end of May, because the thing was on at the end of May, did nothing. And no amount of me calling, texting, pleading, emails everything, sent them, I even sent them gifts in the mail. Nothing. I think one person is still around and she's ordered, and that's it. Now, I put that down to the fact that in June, we started our soft lockdown, and in July, we went into hard lockdown. So we were never able to get in front of those people. So it proves to me that when we can't get face-to-face with people, just to do that one-on-one little facial with them even, we can't create the same DNA for them with Nutrimetics, with their love of the product and being 100% user, which at the end of the day, if that's all we got out of everyone we joined up, we'd be super happy, wouldn't we? And then from there, we can, find our business girls. Then in September, because I was still really bad with my back, I have had another fall and I broke my ribs. I broke 5 ribs here. So then it was back to not being able to breathe again, eat again. And then they discovered that I have severe osteoporosis. Skinny white chick, Anyway, there we are. That's what happened to me last year. But through all of that, I kept going, and I did it all online. I just would sit. I couldn't stand at all. And I haven't been out to do anything until this year. So I've only just started walking again this year. I mean, outside, like walking, exercise walking. I started in April, I think, February. Yeah, February it was. I did my first parties in April. I had a great time, like 3 of them. That's all I did. And I did 2 makeovers and I survived. I can't stand up for a long time. My back is an ongoing issue. But I have to say this. If I hadn't been taught by Sandy McDonald all those years ago, and if I didn't have people in my life like Adam and Louise constantly putting forward that sponsoring ethos, I wouldn't have been able to survive the last 2 years with COVID and my accident. It just wouldn't have happened. And then this year I got COVID. Finally, COVID caught me, so I got that in March. But it did knock me around quite a bit, and I found it really affected my brain. But anyway, I'm back. I think I'm back now to normal. Maybe Mark might not agree. I don't know. Okay. So things you need to make sure that you're doing. I don't know how long I've been talking. I've rambled now. So the last time we did was 2019. So lead generation. This is where we all need to be now. I've tried doing leads online, like in those community boards and all that sort of thing, but I don't know what it is for me. It doesn't work. So I don't know. So what I've done is I've gone back to, because I don't want to do markets at the moment, because the markets, I feel they're not set up the same way as they used to be. They're still spacing them out with social distancing spaces. So there's no community feeling. And so I'm thinking, I'll just leave that for a little bit. So could do it the good old fashioned way. And that's lead generating. And I've gone to cafes, restaurants, the gym, flower shops, and I'll get one of my things. It's pretty simple. I love it. I learned how to do QR codes. So I've just made this little thing up, and this is from Adam, gave me this idea because he did a Valentine's Day one. So I made them in all different sizes. So these signs are all over Balmain at the moment. And people wave their phone over that little QR thing. I put one on some of the shops wanted a little gift pack that they could put on display, and some didn't. But I found that everyone was pretty happy about having a little, let's say, thank you to the community for supporting us the last couple of years. Let's work together, and let me give you a promotion that costs you nothing to run. So they were all really happy, and that's what I've been doing. So that lead generating, they're all about to sort of come in, I hope. And I've got my first real events happening. So I've got a makeup masterclass at Binky & Co. On the 14th of May. And on the 21st of May, Zoe and I are doing a rugby day, ladies' day out for rugby. Sydney Uni. Sadly, I couldn't get things organised as much as I would have liked, and this is why I've been a little bit panicked because I got COVID, so that I could be ready for this zero kit. But I'm just going to try and make every post a winner. I've decided that it's 5 a day in May for me, so I'm talking to 5 people a day. So I missed day 1, so I'm almost up to 20 sponsors at personal at the moment. And excitingly, half of them are new, which is exciting. The other half are rejoins, but rejoins that are old, like really like old ones, which is good. I'm not rejoining people that are just serial offenders. You know, I'm over that. If they want Nutri, they can buy it from me. So lead generating, and then follow up. So bringing in those new leads, sponsoring those new leads, and then following them up. And everyone that I've sponsored so far, I've been offering them a facial for them +2. I've got 4 bookings in my diary. It's going to be busy this month. And for all of us, I wish I was as busy as you, Adam, but never mind. Follow-up facials, face-to-face. Look, you know, a lot of things have changed over the years with Nutri. We've got new products. We're now online. We're lovely and modern, but there's something that hasn't changed. And what hasn't changed is that personal contact and being face-to-face with people. That's the most important thing. And I think that's how we can all pull ourselves up out of where we all are right now. If you've been around for a while, I mean, you'll have noticed your team has probably shrunk a little bit. So, you know, that remains the same. That face-to-face contact is what we need to do to ensure that we have longevity. And I love our products. I love the way they feel. I love the way they smell. I love doing makeup, which is great too. When I first started, I didn't do so many skincare classes because I had, you know, bad skin. So I taught myself how to do makeup. I learned everything through Nutrimetics, and I built up a really big makeup business back in the day. And I even won awards for wedding makeup from outside and like from the real industry. I did TV work, catwalk work. So, you know, there's a lot you can do. And these days, I think the sky is truly the limit, because you can really work the business in a way that suits you. You know, you can, if social media is your thing, fabulous. If good old fashioned face-to-face is your thing, fabulous. If, you know, handing out brochures and doing markets and doing fates is your thing, then do it. That's the thing that we, you know, that's that's what I love about what's happened. The good thing that's come out of COVID is that we've learned a whole lot of skills, haven't we? I didn't even know I knew what a QR code was, but to think that I could actually make one, and Google Doc forms and all that sort of thing, that all these skills that I have now. With the Zero Kit, I think it's really easy to sponsor on the Zero Kit, but easy to sort of get scared about it. Really, I think I would just be saying something like, you know what, I'd really love for you to be a VIP with Nutrimetics, and it's free right now. Why don't I set you up? All I need is some details and you can be a VIP, because who doesn't love being a VIP? Who doesn't love VIP specials and discounts? That's all you have to talk about. Not too much. I mean, you know, the new girls often want to oversell it and give too much information. Remember, we've just got to bring them in then get them to be in love with you and in love with the product, and then you'll get your results. I'm going to be working on doing some masterclasses at home. So at the end of the month, I'm having skincare masterclasses here with anyone who wants to come. They'll be free. I'm just going to start sending out invites now. I just don't have to go anywhere, so I'll just be here. And I'm also running a special sponsoring promotion for my team. So for my key girls, I'm giving them platinum as a prize when they sponsor. You know, when we sponsor someone, that new sponsor gets so much, and our key girls that have been around for a long time, maybe, you know, in your teams, maybe feel that they don't get so much. I love platinum, and I've been stockpiling a little bit of it, so just for this occasion. So I'm using platinum as a prize for my team when they sponsor for the month of May, so they can build their whole platinum collection by sponsoring. So hopefully that will work. What else am I doing to get things going? Making phone calls. Text messaging only lasts for so long, and I think people are sort of sick of text messages, like actually making a phone call. And that's what I did with 3 of the ladies today. And they were so happy. Like one lady I texted her and said, "Can I chat with you for a bit?" And she, "Oh, I'd be so excited to speak to you, Julie." I was like, "Oh." And then, so yeah, make a call rather than just text. Sometimes we pretend that we're working because we've sent out 200 text messages, but maybe you might be better off just doing 5 phone calls. I don't know. So I think what's the time, Louise? 7:45. Is there anything that you want?
You're great. Your lifestyle, Julie.
Oh,
tell me a little bit about your lifestyle, just 5 minutes, and that would be amazing. So, and why Nutrimetics is so good for the life that you want to lead?
I've always loved being my own boss. So I am not a morning person, so I could never do that 9 to 5 thing. So I love the fact I can sleep in when I want to, and book my appointments at 10:30 onwards. You know, I love that. I love being able to. Nutrimetics gives me the flexibility to be with my family. I love my home. We've been renovating the home now here for ages, you know, so that's a constant thing. But I love that you can choose your income. I love gunning for the trips. So the last 2 trips that we had, I put everything into those 2 trips and I achieved them both, but we couldn't go anywhere. But the company gave us some money. So that was really great. So I'm on target for Queenstown. I always make sure, by making sure I go for the trips, which I love going on, it also keeps my business healthy. So I like that. But yeah, I love being able to, like, I like going to the gym. So hopefully now I can get back to that. And I usually go to the gym 3 or 4 times a week. Mark and I like to spend a lot of time going up to restaurants and going to the ballet tomorrow night, and we love walking together. We usually walk together every day. He works from home too. He did before COVID as well, and so we walk every day together. We do about 6 Ks every day together. So he's missed me while I couldn't walk with him, but we've started up again. So that's exciting. And that's where we get to really connect with one another. And we've been together for 40 something years. We've been married for 35, I think, or 37. And we've been together since 81. So it's 40 something years. Yeah.
40 years, Julie.
Is it? Right. Cool. Yeah. We have a daughter. She's 36. 36. Oh no, she's not. God,
not 36.
You kill me. She's 31. She's 31. I'm 66. And I'm turning 67 in July. So I love that Nutro doesn't care about how old you are. I love that. So you can be 18 or you can be 67 and still be hitting the heights. I love that. And I love that you just get made to make choices and, you know, income. So if I like to get my hair done, I like to get my hair done, my nails done. I like my lifestyle. So Nutrimetics has kept me in the lifestyle that I like without having to ask Mark, which is great.
Totally agree, Julie. What a great lifestyle, great place that you live in, fabulous, lovely outlook that you have. I know you redid your garden in your backyard in the last few years as well.
Yeah,
which
the back,
yeah, just beautiful. And your income helps make all of that something that is possible rather than just going, oh, well, I'd like it, but you know, it might take 20 years to do it. Whereas you just go, I love it and I'll work my butt off and we'll do it.
Exactly, that's it. And the company cars, you know, that's saved us thousands over the years. And so right now I'm not driving a company car because I wasn't going out and I couldn't drive anyway for a whole year. So I've got cash for car, but I'll get a new car again next year, I think. I'll wait to the end of this year and wait to see where we're going. But anyway, we've got a beautiful new Lexus that Mark bought. He went out and picked, and my cash for car pays for that. So that's really good. So I've got a Lexus now. But yeah, we just have the one car now because we just don't need it. The other great thing was that I believed in this business so much that I joined up my daughter. So my daughter joined when she was 23, Zoe was. She became a manager in 5.5 months. She's been on 4 overseas trips and had 5, I forget now, and has had 3 or 4 company cars. At the moment, she's part-time. She's working full-time in another job, but you know, that's what 30-year-olds do. And I know, and she knows, we talk about it, she's keeping her Nutra management because for when she decides to have a family, it's going to be there for her. It's her thing that she's got. So I love that too, that, you know, it's given her, I mean, at one point there were like 4 cars out the back here. There was Zoe's car, there was my Nutrimetics car, and then we had the Peugeot, and then Mark had a car. It was like a car fleet out there. But Nutri really has afforded us a lot of things in our life that we've done otherwise, and all traveled overseas to places that we wouldn't have chosen to go to or paid for. And I'm very grateful for that, very grateful. And the best thing is my friends, you guys.
Love you, Julie. Love you. And I remember how well you looked after me at, I think it was in Hawaii, and I'd had a few challenges that particular year, and you and Mark just looked after me totally.
Yes.
So good.
Anytime. Well, that's the thing though, you know, we're caring, aren't we? We're caring. And that first day that I went to a leadership meeting, I think that's what struck me, was that I walked into this building where everyone was smiling and hugging each other and supporting and cheering one another on, you know, rather than I'd come from a corporate world that was all cutthroat, you know. So it's definitely a lifestyle that I think can't really be matched.
Totally. Very good, Julie. Absolutely love you sharing from the heart your story and what you're doing. It's an inspiration, and so appreciate you giving your time to all of us tonight. And the comments that are coming through are just beautiful.
Oh, are they? Oh, I can't see them.
I think Deanna Perza's comment just really beautifully sums it up for me as well. She said, I simply love and respect the way you have a handle on the most important fundamentals in our business, no matter what you are challenged with, Julie. You're a true inspiration, and I love your authenticity.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that, Deanna, as well. So
Thank you.
for me, I guess as a summary from what Julie's spoken about tonight, my gosh, everything has been with heart, Julie. I just think you lead your business and you lead your life with heart. And as Deanna said, so authentic, you know, which is such a beautiful thing to be able to see and experience. Radical flexibility is where we started, but I put next to that radical resilience, 100%. And gosh, if you can do what you've done, Julie, you know, we can overcome anything that comes our way. Started with skin. What an incredible opportunity we have to be able to help other people with their skin. I know for me growing up, I had quite severe acne, went on Roaccutane as well, Julie. So I had a similar story in terms of my struggles with skin. And now to feel comfortable and confident in my skin, it's just such a beautiful gift that we can give to others. So really looking out to be able to help people with their skin. Sponsoring is key. Sponsoring is life. I love that, Julie. That's amazing. It does. It brings life to our business. And have a big enough team to support the lifestyle that you want. So that's something to think about. What sort of lifestyle do we want? Do you want? And how many sponsors would you need to support that lifestyle? You might start with 10 a month, as Julie did, 10 sponsors per month, and do that for 6 months. I love that as a challenge. I love that Sandy said that to you. And that would have inspired you to be like, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to come back to you in 6 months and show you that I'm serious as well. So I think that's something that we can take on as well with working with our teams. Consistency is key, and being in front of enough people, the magic will happen. After sponsoring is follow-up, and what you do with the numbers determines your lifestyle. Sponsoring is in my DNA, you said, Julie, and I believe it's in ours too. Go for all the promos because it keeps your business healthy. I love that, and it really does. Even if they seem like they're a bit of a stretch, I mean, going for them will end up in an amazing place. 160 sponsors with a broken back. So I think we've got some challenges out there. My gosh, Julie, I remember speaking to you when you were at the Mind, Body and Spirit Festival as well. And,
I can't see, I've forgotten that.
yeah, we did. So just, so inspiring to be able to, no matter what comes up, keeping that sponsoring as the message. Find what works for you. So is it lead generation? Is it makeup masterclasses or skincare masterclasses? Is it online workshops? I know some of the girls and their managers that we have in Nutrimetics do so well online and love running their Facebook parties. So find what works for you and keep doing it. Perhaps it's ladies' day out. So I've been looking at, there's just so many more events now that have started to pop up, opportunities. And I made a few phone calls today to different organizations. And they were so happy to talk to me. They were just like, oh, we'd love to do something. We'd love to have you involved. We'd love a pop-up beauty stand. One girl said, I'm actually looking for a makeup artist. Are you free on this date? And just making that phone call. So I think the phone calls do really make a huge difference. New leads equals sponsoring and equals follow-up. And it's all that funnel, isn't it? What we put into our funnel will determine where we find our business. Personal contact gives you the longevity in your business. And something that I heard as a consistent message throughout your talk tonight, Julie, was do what you love. You mentioned love so much about how you love doing this and you love being able to share this and you love this part of the business. So your authenticity and that love definitely shines through. And the thing that I love really about Nutrimetics is that could be such a myriad of different things for each of us. There's so many different facets to this business where we can really hone in on what we love and make that part of the culture that we create in our businesses and in our teams as well. So perhaps what is your thing? You might like to think about what is your thing? What is the thing that you love in the business? What keeps you up at night? What gets you up early in the morning? At the moment, the $0 kit's getting me up a whole lot earlier than I usually would, but it's exciting. Yeah, it keeps you awake as well. It's
no, he sleeps really well, believe me.
So do what you love, and it will excite you and energize you and inspire you. loved your wording in regards to our $0 kit and becoming a VIP. I would love for you to be a VIP. Who doesn't love VIP discounts and specials? Who doesn't love to be a VIP?
Yeah.
I mean, like, how could you, there's no words there. I mean, yes, I would just say yes, wholeheartedly. So I love that. Do a promo sponsoring, a sponsoring promo for your girls if you haven't already. What a great thing to do. Perhaps a giveaway each day or each week for people that sponsor in your team. And you could do that as a consultant, as a group leader, as a senior group leader and beyond. One of the things that Julie mentioned a few times as well is choosing your income. And that's something that's such a blessing to be able to do now and over the past few years, is to be able to choose your income. And that can definitely be determined by sponsoring. Nutrimetics doesn't care how old you are. And I know for me, being a 19-year-old snowboard instructor, was able to come in and drive my first company car and achieve my first trip overseas. And it's beautiful to be able to do this in all areas of our life and in all different ages and in different areas as well, whether it's regional, whether it's in the city. We have an incredible opportunity here. So I thought I'd leave you with, I guess, a message about the clear message throughout here, which is to focus on sponsoring, to do it with heart, to share our incredible opportunity for someone to be a VIP, and to receive all of those beautiful benefits. And what will come from that is your lifestyle that you want to create for yourself. So I so appreciate you, Julie. You're such a dear friend. I absolutely love you. And we're so blessed to have you on our Zoom tonight and to be able to share your story as well. So we really, really appreciate it.
I really appreciate it, Julie. You're absolutely wonderful. And one of your dear friends, Mimi, is our guest presenter next month.
Yay.
So I would love
Mimi up the front
to unmute herself for a moment. And Mimi, so excited to have you on the first Thursday night in June. Would you like to just share in a sentence or two what you love about Nutrimetics and,
oh my God,
and your fellow sales director?
Wow, there's a lot, like I was just reminiscing what you were doing, Julie, when you were speaking tonight, because, we probably joined about the same time.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, what was that really made me really, truly believe in this business like nothing else? And that's why people like you, Julie, would get up go out of hospital and go and do a stand. So you've got to have that burning, and I take your words, Louise, the burning in your belly.
Yeah.
And I think you've got to have this really strong why. And I think my strong why, when I joined, it was traveling, but then it became other things.
Yeah.
But it's the little things. And I remember, you remember the Alberts, Roger and Naomi, and they said to me once, Mimi, what we've noticed about you, whether it's a tea towel or is it a car, you're always on stage. So I did not about goal setting when I came to Nutrimetic. It was just about everything. I was saying, what isn't anyone going for it? I mean, you get something for free and you get paid, so you might as well go for it, and then you grow your business. So I suppose that little tea towel, and I still remember my, in December, we had a bath towel. I still got that. And, we had to sell $1,500 to do that. So that's a lot of money back then.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to share my experience, my journey, this beautiful journey that we all had, and the friendships, and we're still here and we're still strong. So
Exactly right.
Thank you for asking, Louise and Adam.
So
and we really love you. We take so much from what you guys, and we really appreciate that you have set this up for all of us to grow together. Thank you. I look forward.
Thank you, Mimi.
I agree.
Thank you so much. And I'd like to give the kudos to Adam, because Adam was actually inspired by listening to Deanna Perza and said, Mum, we have to have all the greats and they have to share all their wisdom. And I said to Adam, let's make this happen. So Julie, so glad to have you on tonight. Mimi, so excited to have you on next month, and watch this space for everyone for the next 7-8 months with Nutrimetics. We are going to kick some goals, girls and guys, and I am so excited to do that. A radical flexibility, freedom, choosing your income.
Radical sponsoring.
Radical sponsoring. Let's go for it. Thank you,
Awesome.
everyone. Good
Thanks,
night.
everyone. Take
Happy
care.
Mother's
Bye.
Day. Happy Mother's Day to